Up, everybody? We are here, and I would say that I'm allowing Dave to be a guest in my studio. Welcome, Dave.
It's nice being here.
Thanks. This is almost like it's not going to happen right now, but people have been asking about John. You should interview Dave. You know, and like get kind of just where Dave came from, because we kind of just started doing this, and then it's kind of like, okay, some people know who I am, but do they know who Dave is?
I would say more so probably don't.
Although I can see that, because I feel like some people know who you are.
Yeah. But I don't know. Do you think so? Because, I mean, I'm old, man. Plus, I haven't been around in a while. And, I used to always try to stay on the low a lot before, too. Not really,
Yeah.
like I'm sharing. If you're wondering what I'm doing.
No, I peeped it.
Okay.
Hilarious, because we've been keeping a hard eye on him. Pause.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we could do that interview, but not right now, right?
No, not right now.
Yeah, because we could just talk about it. You know me, I'll talk about me.
No, right now we are on the podcast. We're sharing it. Just to let you guys know that we are here. I kind of do want to jump into the that one topic that you're talking about, the standoff.
Okay.
So I heard there was a drones there,
But what did the drone do, though?
just getting like aerial shots, possibly looking through windows. I wonder if they have like thermal drones.
Probably.
See what room he's in, what he got going on.
I skimmed the article, but they didn't really like get any specifics about that. They just said drone. But if he was inside, it had to be like some thermal stuff, probably.
Yeah, and it's like, what is this person like? It could probably feel his temperature and feel like if he's really gonna do it, if he's like, you know what I mean?
You think it's that sensitive?
The
Or
drone?
yeah, we think it's just like can see like where he's at in the house or whatever.
Well, that brings us to another question, because I was talking to somebody, or I don't know what it was, but it was pretty much like, hey, if this is what the drones and stuff can do now, you know what I mean? Imagine like what kind of technology they got a hold of.
They they probably have drones that do like get a heat signature and can fire at them and stuff. Or is that even old school thinking?
Heat
'Cause they could
signature,
have like tiny drones that just
go through the vents and stuff like that.
or could it just like attack you like maybe small drones that could just be like a bullet and hit you, because we're thinking old school like it's a big drone flying around outside the window. But I seen this one thing and the guy was like, oh, like he's talking about AI, but you could probably apply the same thing to like drones and stuff. He's like, they only let us see like about like 10% of the stuff that they really got technology wise and whatnot. But how do you feel about that, the standoff? Like, what was it, like a 56-year-old dude that was all drunk and he like popped a shot off at his house?
So my thing is like, what is a standoff? Is it like you don't want to kill him? You're just waiting for him to come outside?
They had like negotiators and stuff.
So if you're inside, what's the game plan?
For the guy?
Yeah,
Well, I think he was like all trash.
he was drunk.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah. And then because they said that they took him to the hospital, then like charged him when he was at the hospital.
Did he shoot someone?
Well, he shot in his house, and that's one of the charges that he got. He got like domestic abuse, firing a firearm in the house or something like that.
That's
But,
kind of.
but
He should go to jail, because you're kind of wilding. You're shooting a gun in the house.
yeah. But then he was all drunk though. He was like a mental health crisis. It seems like. But that's good of the police though, because they could have just like barged in and like went commando style and dropped him. Really?
Do do they get paid like hourly type shit?
What,
Like,
the cops?
yeah,
I believe so,
for the
yeah.
standoff, they're just like, they're out there probably getting. Like, all right, who's ordering the pizza?
I wonder if there's like a hazard pay.
How's your
You
pay?
know, because like if you're in the army or whatever, you get your check. But then if you're like actually at war, you get
Hazard pay.
like a
I can see that.
an action bonus. But that guy's like wasting a lot of resources. I wonder if he's gonna get billed for all that.
Is that how that happens? Like, I know there's hospital bills and you're like at the ambulance bill and stuff like that, but you get a bill from the cops?
Oh yeah, I got arrested in St. Pete, and you got to like, it was 2 cops, and it took them 3 hours to arrest me. So they charged me for 6 hours at 25 an hour.
Wait, you said, why did it take them 3 hours to arrest you?
From, I don't know, I guess just getting arrested and all the booking and processing.
Oh, damn, the actual process.
Because when you get arrested, like you sit in the back of the car and they're like typing everything up. And they drive to the jail, and then you got to sit out in front of the jail while they're like transfer you over to their custody or whatever. And they're like on the clock for the whole time. And they probably round up too. But I didn't pay.
So, I guess.
Well, the thing is if I do ever like go to in jail in St. Pete and like I get like money on my books or something like that,
They're going to take it?
they take the money that you put on your books before you can get any stuff. That's how they get it.
That's crazy.
Because if they had the whole mobile unit out there and drone pilots and people all in the trailer and street cops and the road shut down, that's like 15, 20 people they had out there for like a solid day for this guy. And how drunk was he if he's like doing that for like a day? He ain't fall out. He just kept going. He's just like drinking beers the whole time still.
I've been kicked out of better houses than this, you motherfucker.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's when this is a little off topic, but I wonder if when we listen back, we're gonna be able to hear that this is like echoing in here. And I think it's because the wall's like right here.
Well, I think there's like we were saying before, there's like really no soft surfaces in here whatsoever. We're gonna like get a rug down in a part of this area to absorb some of it because it's bouncing. And
Definitely.
I thought we were gonna open that door to let some of that sound out,
We can't now.
but does it even work like that?
It's louder out there.
Yeah, that happened, and also too. Again, like remember how we talked before? Like they kicked those people out of their Mondex house. Like all those like lucky local Mondex druggies that were hanging around the house.
Yeah, so pretty much it wasn't in the Mondex system.
No, it was in Palm Coast.
It was in Palm Coast. I guess same people, they moved somewhere else.
No, it was a different group.
Damn, a different group.
Yeah.
And there's like 8 people in one house. And I seen it. They were like real skinny and pale. It was crazy.
The drug life.
And it's like, what kind of life is it? What's going on? What's going on in that house? Can you break down? Like, does the whole family cook up or something
You
like
think
that?
it's like a family though, or just like I think it's just like random people all like just kind of
Like sharing rent or something?
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. But that's probably what happens when you get expensive rent.
Yeah, and well, they said they did it because like similarly to the Mondex people, these people are just like out here hitting small crimes all the time. Cops getting called. Oh yeah, there was like several overdoses going on there, and yeah, so they kicked them out. But my question is like, okay, great, but now where are all those people at? Because they just didn't just vanish because you kicked them all out of the place, right? Like I said before, like,
Do you think they just went and kicked it at someone else? That's why I was like, is it the same house? Now they moved them to Palm Coast?
yeah, let's just say
Because if you kick them out of Mondex, where are they going to go?
well, no, I'm talking about the Palm Coast people,
Right.
but yeah, or even the other people like. All right, you're already a poor druggie. It's not like you can just like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to relocate.
Yeah.
You know?
They're going to take my work stubs.
Yeah, like I just wonder like, I get that they have to do something about it, I guess, but is that really a good solution though? Because the people just don't vanish. They're still somewhere else, like nothing happened.
I think I'm trying to think like there's a mixture of problems going on here. You have the jobs, you have the real estate going up and the rent prices going up and stuff like that. And then you also have drugs and the whole opioid and fentanyl situation. Now, are they all mixed together? Yes, most likely. But do they all also play like a part? It's almost like a triangle. So I feel like
Well, look,
The I think universal basic income is the solution to this.
no, man, because then the people. All right, that's not good because I saw this interview of these homeless people in like San Francisco or LA or something, and they were like, "Yeah, man, I don't want to not be a hobo." Like he's like, they're like, we get breakfast, lunch, dinner. We can go take showers. There's bathrooms. There's everything we need. All we have to do is get money to buy the drugs, and they give us like needles and stuff like that.
Now, see, that's a little OD, but I think like
But that's what it'll lead to. If anything, like people like bash like socialism and social things, but like some people, I don't know, maybe it's hard for them to get jobs, or whatever. Because do you think it's hard to get the job?
I don't think so.
But what if you're like kind of stupid or whatever, and
If you're kind of what?
you're kind of stupid, kind of lazy, like picture like just like a typical like person you imagine being like a skinny like druggy type. Um, do you think it would be better if they had like social jobs where like anybody can just go work for like say like the city, not like as you have like a city job, but like city day labor or county day labor or something like that? Because now the people like can go work every day. Because I feel like some of those people like, say you get in a situation, all right, you're living with 8 people, you're on drugs, you can't get a job because you're all junked out.
They need to legalize weed, and then like hire slower people to like pick up trash and stuff like that.
That's what I'm saying. If they have just like, because junkies will go out and like pick berries, like the berries that they pick, the palm berries. There's all kinds of things they can do, but
Yeah.
it's not consistent. And you got to think, man, like if your life's going like shit, you're going to be more likely to do drugs
Bless you.
to get out of that. Remember, like in New Jack City, what's Nino Brown say? Times are tough. People want to get high. And I think that's true. And there's probably like a real correlation with unemployment and rising prices and drug use. Because all drug use isn't just partying. A lot of it's like depressive. I hate my life.
Yo, I just thought about something. Like, I think, imagine if we made a movie breaking down the life story of the people inside the house, and they started off in a bad situation, and then they became homeless, and then they saved up their money, then they went through situations, who know what they had to do to get that money. The women might have to sell themselves, the men might have had to fight, sell drugs, steal, whatever. And then like, they get all their money, then they actually find some friends, then they get some bad friends. Then they finally get a situation where they get like 8 people together, 8 homeless people. It's like, yo, we can actually get a place now. You know what I mean? 2 to a room, they get a 4-bedroom. It's rough, but they're in there, and they're still in their homeless ways, so they're a little bit messy. You know what I mean? And then it's like, damn.
You think that's like the situation there?
It could be, you know what I mean? And then it's like, damn, now they get arrested. It's like, bro, all we ever wanted to do is get our money together.
I mean, that's an optimistic outlook.
Yeah, we do drugs, but we're homeless. We do drugs, you know what I mean? Like, okay.
I guess it's like a is what it is situation.
You know what I mean? But it's like, we were really trying to come up. Now they're back to being homeless.
That's one of my points is like, not where are they now? Now they're just roaming around Palm Coast, committing crimes.
Another question about that is like, so explain to me, how did the cops even find out about this situation?
Well, because there was like mad police reports there, same as the other places.
Of neighbors calling the cops?
Yeah, and there was like a lot of ODs there.
Damn.
Yeah.
ODs there?
See, that's another thing too of having them consolidated. What if those guys were just all over the woods? Then they'd just be dead. But is that good or bad? How do you feel about that?
Is it good or bad that they be dead?
And how do you feel about this like Narcan push everywhere? We're like, oh, you can get Narcan here, get Narcan there. Do you feel like that?
I've been telling you to go get us some Narcan so we could try it.
You can't just try it. You have to be ODing.
They said it doesn't do anything to you if you just try it and you're not ODing.
Yeah, it's an opiate blocker.
But if you're not doing
You have to
anything,
be having
so
opiates.
I want to try it.
So we need to
Maybe I do.
step 1, we score some fentanyl. Now you'll sniff it, and then we'll wait, and then boom, let's do the real test.
I think that what we should do is get some yay, and then find like a squirrel or something like that, and put it on like a nut or something like that, and then hit him with the Narcan.
Opiate up the scroll. Yeah, that's a crime, bro. That's like animal abuse. That's probably less of a crime if you OD'd than giving it to the squirrel.
Okay, fine, I'll do it.
Heck yeah. But do you feel like, you know, this is going to be a deeper question. Like, say, like in this society, a lot of people are like wild, and if everything wasn't safeguarded, a lot of those people would be dead. So, like, as a society, we're really like paying a lot of money for like stupid people to keep them alive. Do you feel like we should participate in the survival of the fittest or try to save everybody? Because it's like,
You can't do survival of the fittest. You can't. You know, it's like because a lot of people are just gonna die.
yeah, but for, what, like how many thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years, probably millions of years has that been the case? Only until lately, like that's what it is now. Well, in this current society that we're in, which brings us to another one of our topics later, the mud flood.
Well,
But not to jump ahead, but
yeah. Before we get another topic, what I did want to say is I want you to, talk about this studio a little bit, not about the situation or anything else around it, but just about this area. Like, what do you think? And I know we were talking about we wanted to put something like this is a little behind the scenes stuff, but like, what do you think about how it's set up in here and like our future studios and stuff? I like how we have the different setups and stuff in this one room.
nah, this is sweet because like I feel like we'll use this area with just two people, and then like over there for maybe
2 or 3
three, but then like with the area over there with the two couches and that other table, we could do like a
debates.
6-person or 8-person thing. Because those shows are kind of all right too when people are just not really like arguing, but just tossing ideas back and forth, or like people answer questions.
Hold it a little bit closer. You're talking kind of
Yeah.
loud.
So, yeah, but it's pretty it's definitely an upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how small the studio is at the spot in Flagler Beach.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is a gigantic room.
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely a nice come up for us,
Yeah.
for sure.
How many square foot is this? Like 150?
Nah, that's like at least like, I don't know, probably like 200 at least. It's like, that's at least 20 feet, and that's like maybe like 25, 20, so like maybe even 400.
Because this is like bigger than a bedroom or
Yeah.
bigger than like a kitchen.
This is like 400 square feet probably or so. But
You're
yeah,
like whispering.
I'm a little taken back from this to the switch of topics.
Yeah, I wanted to, you kind of jumped right into the topics. I thought he was going to,
Oh, my bad.
you know what I mean? Like, oh, hey, let's talk. I wanted to talk about this before we got into the topics.
I'll push back on that because you are the one who said, let's get right into the drone topic, which kind of brought us into, local talking about police activities and stuff too, because those are grouped up.
I'm going to watch back afterwards because I don't think that's how this went.
So anyways, I'm like, so I'm surfing, right? And then this and that. And then you're like, talk about like walking through the desert. It's like how opposite of like just the jump was.
Well, like I said, I wanted to talk about the studio a little bit before.
All right.
You can put your finger down.
I'm more classy. That's like how I like you hold a drink like this. I'm gonna start doing it like this actually. But yeah, it's to come up over here.
Yeah, I think next time if we come out here, we should do the other side.
I like how I want to use the couches too, so I can like sprawl out, get a little more comfy. But I think like having a look really does a lot for the thing as far as the professionalism of it. It's carrying us a little bit. Now we just got to produce the interesting topics with hard-hitting insights
And have a little bit of energy in our voice when we
hot-
talk about the topics.
yeah, and hot takes about have energy in your voice. Well, to be fair, it's been a long day.
No, it hasn't, Dave.
It has for me.
No. Okay, tell
It
me
has
about
for
your
me.
day. Tell me about your day.
So I got up around 4:30 and walked like 8 miles.
You're lying.
Nah, I didn't. Nah, so I got up at like, I think I did get pretty early, like about like 8. And then I was like, you know, doing personal activities for a while. And then I made some breakfast. I made these great basil eggs, bacon, cottage cheese, and fresh tomato slices.
Oh, such
Then
a hard day.
I had those on my front porch. Played with the squirrels a little bit outside. And I think I took a small nap. And what else did we do, baby? Oh yeah, we went and got lattes. And then we drove out here. After a brief business chat with someone for another thing that's hopefully going to work out, and start doing that. I can't mention it at this stage though.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. But that wasn't a long day at all.
It's a rough life, bro.
Watch out for that water, dude.
You know, I want to point this out.
Please do.
So, like 3 or 4 podcasts ago, you spilled the coffee. You're a real displacer. You spilled the coffee, and
I
then
remember
you
that.
spilled the coffee again. And you're
Again?
yeah, that day you spilled coffee twice because you made me spill my coffee. Remember? And you spilled coffee in the kitchen. But then now here you are reprimanding me about spilling. But my track record would show that I haven't spilled any drinks. And then hold on, let me further reinforce my point. Last time we were at your house, you were like, "Hey, watch those chips on my floor," and it was one like little crumb. But who spilled the salsa on the rug before that?
It was me. I spilled the salsa.
Exactly. This place, I spilled the salsa. That's right. Did I spill any salsa? No.
So
I think you need to at least let me spill a beverage before you say, "Watch my beverages."
I can respect that point of view.
All right. So
I am just paranoid about it.
yeah. So, but anyway, do you feel like they should be like Narcan and all the people that are on drugs?
Yes,
Or is that just costing us mad money?
both.
Or is
I
it
think it's
saving us money because it costs more to bring them in the hospital than the Narcan dose?
That too.
But how many Narcan doses equal 1 OD death? And what about all the other stuff we have to pay for them?
What's the other stuff that we got to pay for?
You know, just like social programs, counseling, drug rehabs, piss tests, all that shit that comes along with it. Now,
What's the other option? Just have a whole bunch of dead people.
then they die. Yeah, yeah. Because my thing is like, I feel like the longer you bail people out, the more they'll just keep doing it. Same with the hobos in San Francisco. It's like, why should I stop, man? Like, I got no incentive to stop. Because, you know, and that's like, you might say that's kind of harsh because, you know me, I was on drugs. So, but I feel like there wasn't no big bailout. My shit got fucked up, and I was like, all right, get my shit together. Nobody just kept bailing me out, bailing me out, bailing me out. So, I don't know if that's a cynical view or what.
I think you got bailed out a little bit.
I got what?
I think you got bailed out a little bit.
But I mean, I didn't like almost die a bunch of times, though.
No.
I didn't almost die any times.
No.
But I guess I could have. My thing was a little unique because I had access to more quality, less sketchy things, I guess you could say. I mean, there wasn't really a risk of me like copping some fentanyl and just dying.
No.
See, that's why I'm a little torn about it because it's like you can't hold people's hand through the whole shit. You gotta let them like fall though if they're gonna bounce back up. Because some people are not gonna bounce back up though. Because and then if they don't, you just keep doing this thing over and over and over and over again. That's like a deep question. Because you know, in today's society, it's all like save everybody, save everybody, save everybody.
I feel like homelessness is,
Yeah, but not every homeless person is on drugs though.
it's almost like a responsibility of the community, which is crazy. But that's what it's been like throughout history, hasn't it? It's crazy there's been homeless people since the beginning of time.
Has there been?
I feel like,
But I
yeah,
mean, like,
like I've seen like back in Egypt and shit, there was like beggars on the side of the road and shit
yeah,
like
that is
that.
true.
You know,
But that's what I'm saying. Are they just lazy, or is it always just like?
like Aladdin,
Hmm.
street rat.
But that was that's classism.
That's what I'm saying.
But surely that's not why there's hobos though. But hobos don't have to be on drugs though.
I feel like it's like poor choices.
So I feel like crazy hobos. It's not really their fault, but like that's not like druggies though. Druggies are different.
What percent of people do you think fell on hard times? I think like 10%.
In
I
their
feel like
life?
that's an excuse. You know, people are like, oh well, you know, like both of their family members might have like got cancer and died or this or that. You know what I mean?
I think a lot actually.
You think so?
Yeah. In fact, remember when we listened on Jimmy Dore and he was talking about man, they were doing some fucked up shit, like making like homelessness like illegal, and they were like trying to like say that they're all drug addicts and everything, and they did the math. Like, first of all, like half of them were like kids, or like what was it, like 35-40% were kids, like 20% were like veterans, and only like 10-15% were actually like druggies.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But this is getting off. So you feel like yes, Narcan.
I just feel like, yeah, we have to take care of our homeless people. Unfortunately.
Yeah, but they're not homeless though. It's not only homeless people.
I mean, you know, it's a classism thing. Like you were just saying, like whatever you want to call the poor people, because poor people are synonymous with the people with this opioid problem and stuff like
Well,
that.
let me ask you this. Now in Canada, 3% of their death rate is from government-assisted suicides. How do you feel about that? Because that's
3% of their what rate?
their death rate now. That's 3%. That's high. Assisted suicides, and they're even running like commercials and stuff right now for like old people. Like, oh, you want to check out?
Well, let me put it. Let me put it like.
So that's like the opposite of survival of the fittest.
Let me put it this way. If it just became legal, then a lot of people who've been waiting on it are gonna do it. So it's like, you know,
Yeah, but they're
if they had an uptick and it's like 10,000 people did it.
no, they keep doing it and they're pushing it. They have like ads on TV like, "Are you old, tired? Check out."
That's a little wild.
They have that. It's like a real thing that's going on right now.
See, when we get our new computer system, we could have Lil Dave pull it up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
But how do you feel about that though? Because that's kind of like directly contradictory to what you just said about saving the people.
That's
and,
a little-
and they're pushing it too, so they'll save money.
That's a little OD.
Because like you know, like when you're like 75 to 85 and you ain't doing
Social
nothing.
Security.
And in Canada, we ain't gonna get no Social Security. But you know, in Canada is different. They have a lot more social programs. So I thought that was kind of crazy when I heard that.
It is
3%.
crazy.
And like you know, I think in some states in America you could do it, but you have to have like a terminal disease. But this one girl that was like, she was like in her 20s and she had like anxiety, and that like qualified. That's a little crazy too. Like instead of counseling the girl, they're like, "Oh, fine, okay, go check out."
So what do you think mostly about it? You think we shouldn't do the Narcan?
I don't know. I don't like to reinforce the bad behavior, but at the same time, with this like fentanyl stuff, it's like crazy. Like it's hard to say like, okay, yeah, you're on drugs, you fuck up all the time, blah blah blah, I die. But what if you just, you know, because they mix it with other stuff too. So I mean, I guess so. But it seems it's a little much like when you get to like San Francisco level of just like totally taking care of everybody, and you have no accountability, so you just do whatever you want to do. I just don't feel like it's a winning solution. It's just going to perpetuate everything, and there'll be no end like that.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
So, little Dave, do you have over there, or are you kind of busy right now?
No, I got what's up? You want more topics?
Yeah, because
I know Dave wanted to talk about the vaccine for fat people. This is something he feels very passionate about.
real quick, do you call him Dave?
No, I'm just saying that for podcast purposes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just want to, not that I don't have.
It's not that formal around the house.
It's not a formal situation.
All right, so Dave, I'm gonna be honest. Do you consider yourself a fat person?
I wouldn't say like that fat, a little fat.
Okay, so are you talking about yourself? Am I fat?
I mean, you're a little fat.
Okay. So are you talking about us right now?
No.
You're talking about morbidly obese?
I'm talking about like more obese, and I'm talking more specifically like kids. Like, okay, so like a month or so ago, I started noticing this like push of like, and more than a month ago really, but everybody's body positivity. Oh, I'm me. I don't have to change. I don't have to live healthy. I could just consume this, consume that. It's not my fault.
Right.
And then Baby O was in class, and the teacher like starts talking about this, like in a college class, like, oh, how do you guys feel about like this stuff? Where all the teachers are like liberal, so like it's your genetics, it's not your lifestyle or nutrition that doesn't matter, and your fatness. So that's like, okay, because today everybody wants to like feel like it's not their fault that their life's not great. It's somebody else's fault. Now they're even making that push for like if you're really fat. If you drink like mad iced coffees every day, eat out every day, don't do jack shit, obviously you're gonna get fatter. But now with that being said, that's already came out to soften everybody up. And let me give you this statistic too now. Since like 40% of like all kids like 12 and under have pre-diabetes. So like the newer generation of kids are all like eating processed shit. They're like fatter, they're lazy, they're all up in their phones. But now, they've already started this push where it's okay, it's not your fault. This is how it is. We're changing as people. So now these new drugs that they got, they want to like get kids on this drug, and you can never get off the drug. It's like it's a lifetime prescription.
I heard about that.
Yeah. So I just think that's fucking crazy.
And I heard they're starting to have these things where like there's a little computer microchip inside the pill, and like it could tell if you swallowed it and stuff.
Yeah, they have that.
And it's like you have to take it, or else they're gonna like cut your money off.
Well, that's something different though. But I've heard what you're saying too. So they can monitor you, yeah. Instead of like implanting the chip in you, you just keep swallowing it. But this is just like something that like fucks with your like DNA and genetics, and then you just can't get off of it. Like you'll die. And they were saying that's gonna cost like trillions of dollars of like for this drug.
Why do they want us to be on these?
I think they just want people to just consume stuff. Like you can't like, there's no money in like healthy stuff. Like you're gonna eat Hot Pockets, just consume, buy all the video games, buy all the technology, go in the metaverse, get on this drug so you won't be gigantic. I don't know. It just seems weird. Again, that's another thing of survival of the fittest. Let's invent something so now you're not gonna have to deal with ramifications of being like a super fat. Like, I want to sound like negative, like, but
Definitely.
some people are obese and sloppy, and you don't have to be that way. Like now, I would say like there is some people that are gonna be big, regardless. Like I'm never gonna be like $160, but there's a difference between how I look right now and if I was like 350.
I'm trying to get down to like 235. I'm
Because
265 right now.
And I can say this too because right now, what we just weighed me earlier at the gym was 214.
Okay.
Now I've been 285 before.
Damn.
When I was 285, man, I ain't do jack shit. I was just riding around all day. I ate out several times a day, junk, iced coffees, just drink, eat, you know what I mean? So I just can't believe that argument that doesn't matter. Because then, one day I was like, man, fuck this. Then I stopped eating fried food. I didn't drink no soda. And I was even like a vegetarian for a year.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, that was like around like 2014.
And that's when you said you're going to Thai by Thai all the time? Mm-hmm. Get the vegetarian plate?
Every day I would just walk in there and be like, just make me something, vegetarian. Yeah. But, so I just don't like that, man. Like
Do you miss protein when you're a vegetarian? Like miss meat? Like I feel like I eat all the vegetables and it's like, yeah, but where's like the meat? Pause.
Yeah, but I ate fish though.
Okay.
And I'm gonna, I will have like a fillet like every Friday, like a filet mignon.
You're not no fucking vegetarian.
Just one though. Just one day a week.
You're not no vegetarian.
That's all lean meat though, John.
That is dope.
That's lean meat. That's good. Yeah, that's lean meat. That's healthy. So I just can't buy it that it's not your fault because it was my fucking fault because I was being lazy and I was eating a bunch of shit. So then as soon as I changed that, it went down. Like I said, now I'm not gonna ever be like mad skinny, but whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm healthier. So it's interesting just to see like how they propagandize something and then put it into action.
Facts.
You know.
Let me see. So, little Dave, what do we got coming up next? But I kind of want to press one of these buttons and see what they do.
Okay, let's talk about Kanye. I seen this post on Instagram. I think it was yesterday or something. You saw that? He posted on Instagram.
About the Jewish thing and how he likes Jewish people.
Yeah, how he likes one Jewish person.
I don't know if I really want to talk about that too much, but we're gonna also talk about the how him and Adidas are gonna be back together again. Hold on a second, let me see.
Yeah, because you know why? And he was right at the first time. Remember, he was like, "They can't drop me."
You could.
But they couldn't drop him. They tried to front like they could, but they couldn't.
So what happened there? Is it the contract the reason they couldn't, or because they were stuck with all this material and they can't sell it?
No, they could have sold it because if they were going to screw him over, they just would have screwed him over. But really, like they were contractually obligated. And he got lawyers, man. Like in that corporate world, yeah, they can say what they're going to do and virtue signal him, but they just can't drop him. And that's why he said they just can't drop me. But then they still fronted like they did.
Oh yeah, we can. We don't want him to think that he has all the power, when it's like, not really,
But
he does.
He did. But, I just think that speaks to the quality of the movie 21 Jump Street, though. Because it altered his whole perception.
I don't honestly think that's that great of a movie.
You tripping. My name's Jeff. Actually, that's 22 Jump Street. Isn't it?
Those movies are stupid.
Baby-o. That used to be your Snapchat name. My name's Jeff. That's 22 Jump Street, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, that's the second one. They were pretty good. It was funny in the first one, like he goes there because he was all like the cool guy, and he stalks that guy, and he's like, "What, did you punch me because I'm gay?" And he was like, "No, yeah." Because when he was in high school, it was like cooler to not give a shit, and he goes back in, and everybody's all like, "Oh, we love the earth, and everybody's great," and he thinks he's gonna be cool, like being all bad. So, anywho, what's next?
Let's see here. We got okay. I seen this video, and John want to talk about like banks crashing, but I seen this senator video where it's like a New York bank crashed. What do y'all know about bank crashing?
So I want to say what I think is going on first, and so what I've heard about these banks crashing is that they were taking, oh shit, they were taking crypto investments as bonds against cash loans that people were taking out, and like say, if before one Bitcoin was worth $50,000, and then you gave me $50,000 on the loan, now that Bitcoin's worth $20,000, we got a problem here. You know what I mean?
Do you think it was primarily that, though? I think it was more the fractional lending, and then it has to do with the Feds adjusting interest rates and stuff that they're going to give on bonds, because they started offering more of a yield on like treasury bonds than the bank was giving, and the people started wanting to pull their money out and put them into those bonds instead of having their money in those interest-bearing bank accounts. But because of the fractional reserve system, the banks didn't have that money on hand to give the people. That's why it went out. Because you seen the video, Soulja Boy could only get 30 grand. I think you sent that to me. Because they don't have the cash.
I was like, is that fake or is that real?
No, that's real. Because say like a bank has $100 million, they can lend out like $300 million. Because they just go under the assumption that not everybody's going to take their money out at the same time.
But this is my thing. Like, come on, Soldier Boy. Like, you got to know that, like, okay, it's one thing for them to, like, only have that, but they can order it. It could be there within a week if you wanted, like, 100.
Nah, man, you're missing the bigger picture, though. It's not about the cash. The bank don't have the money because it's all loaned out to other places.
Yeah, but they never had the money. That was always the thing. Like, if I wanted to go get $10,000, I got to kind of, like, order it and let them know ahead of time.
Yes. the bank having that cash, but the bank still has that cash though. But what I'm saying is the bank don't have the cash, not even to order.
Okay, right. So what I'm saying is
It's
like,
gone. It's all like fake money, like in made up money, just in.
so okay, so say he wanted 100,000, he got 30,000. You told me he's never gonna get the other 70. They just don't got it. So pretty much right now we're in a crazy spot where cash is almost gone.
No, there's a lot of cash. That's why the inflation's so high. But that particular bank didn't have that cash. Now, what might have happened with Soldier Boy is we don't even know what bank he went to. Maybe he did just go to the bank and they only had that amount on hand. But
Right.
with the bank that went under, they didn't have as much money as they said they had because of fractional lending. That's why, like, like Peter Schiff, man, he's like, don't have that money in the bank. Don't have the cash.
Where should put it? Peter Schiff.
Peter Schiff has it in gold. And a lot of people have their money just sitting in real estates. Like a lot of times, like say like for like St. Pete, for example, like you look at like the skyline at nighttime and ain't nobody in those buildings. Like rich people that don't even live in America own those buildings and they just have like money sitting there. So you got $1 million condo, real estate's going to go up what percent per year on average?
You said real estate?
Yeah, it's like 8%, I believe. Somewhere about 8-10%.
You said real estate is gonna go up in price?
On average, usually 8% a year is the.
I didn't know that because I
I
mean,
think that's what it is. So like, say you're like a guy with hundreds of millions of dollars, you're not gonna have all that money just in the bank.
right?
That's why like they'll just buy condos and have the condos just sitting there, and it's still gonna go up 8% a year rather than just having it in cash. You just have it in the building,
Right.
or having it in cash, you have it in stocks of a company. But and then what you said though with the crypto is a factor as well because the banks do make poor investments, and that's what Peter Schiff will tell you too. Is that like, because they bailed out the banks again, which just incentivizes them to make riskier investments with your money because they know that if everything gets fucked up, they'll just get bailed out. Yeah, didn't you post a meme that was like single mom overdrafts by $3?
And the bank's like, no, charge her more money.
Yeah, and then it's like greedy CEO loses 200 million.
He's like, oops, we got you.
Yeah, here's a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's how it goes down.
So yeah, man. Right now, okay, with the banks crashing, so what does that mean? The real estate is still gonna go down though in value.
Right now, yeah, but I think real estate's something more tangible.
And population is the whole thing with the real estate as well.
Like
That was a different problem before.
Yeah, like the prices of the money will go up and down, and the real estate prices will go up and down too. But it's still there. Like the building is going to be there.
Yeah.
So no matter what the value of a dollar is, the building's going to like reflect a owned value.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, little Dave, what we got?
Next up, we got, okay, so people have been talking about it. Trump commented on it. Trump getting arrested. Is it going to happen?
My boy,
I call Cap.
he did get arrested.
No, he didn't.
I thought he did.
No, he didn't. Look it up, little Dave.
Because there was like a liberal district attorney in Manhattan, and I think they charged him with like a misreporting the money that he used to bribe that one porn star lady. Porn star lady. She was like an old broad.
That's what they wanted to arrest him for, but
No, I think that's what they did arrest him for. And a lot of people were talking shit about it because they were like, yo, why is this person arresting some white collar thing over? That's like clearly political.
fake Trump arrest photos.
Oh, so they're saying Trump faked his. Is that reliable?
Yeah, everyone's saying it's fake. Viral images of Donald Trump getting arrested are totally fake. This dude, Joe. Shout out my boy Joe Hagen. He said, that dude looks like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Didn't you say that, little Dave?
Who does?
You do.
Me?
Yeah.
I don't agree, but that's not horrible.
Oh, wait, no, he's talking about somebody else.
Oh.
That's funny, though.
Well, see, that's crazy too, man. That's the power of propaganda, man. What's real?
What, when you say, oh, like I mean, come on, man. You had to know that was fake, though.
No, a lot of people were talking about it and a lot of different things.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were. See, but you don't watch the news though.
Okay, see, now we're getting into a whole different conversation. You're just saying that because you feel like I don't watch whatever news you got going on. But the news is news, no matter
But
who got what going
surely
on.
you heard of that though, right?
Yeah, but it was. I heard it was fake, and it turned out to be fake. You are clearly watching some kind of bullshit propaganda stuff.
No, I just heard people like I even saw it on that Valuetainment show. They were talking about it.
But what I'm saying is like, it was clearly fake.
Well then, I think that I don't think we.
You thought Trump was in jail right now?
No, I don't think Trump was going to go in jail. No.
Well, you said you felt like he arrested him.
Yeah,
Like,
just
what do you think
like if you're
behind
rich like that and you get arrested, you're not like you might have to go down to the jailhouse real fast.
it? I think you do.
I mean, you might have to go down there and get processed. I thought he did, man. I think what you're reading is fake, man.
No.
Because I thought they said he went there and they released him on his own recognizance, and he just has to like.
Look
Are
it
you-
up
are
on
you
your phone.
sure?
Look it up on your phone.
This is fake news, John.
You're fake news.
That was not a good Trump impression.
No, it wasn't.
You just don't want to like. You just don't want to like him. Oh, you know what we do need to talk about though. Tell me how you feel about this. So you know, like the Ten Commandments, right?
Okay.
Given at Mount Sinai by God to Moses in the Old Testament, the Ten Commandments.
And, yeah, by the burning bush.
No.
Okay.
You know, Moses went up there and like with all the Jews, and they were like, "Baby, yo, look that up, man."
You can't look up Donald Trump arrested?
Oh, I'm trying to talk about this other topic.
Okay.
This is like actually the spot where he's supposed to be doing that as like the
Jamie.
role instead of that motherfucking COD mobile gaming shit. Like a fucking square.
All right, so talk about this.
So anyway, well, let me preface that with a question. How do you feel about the Pope? Evil or godly?
I feel like he holds the secrets to the old world.
Evil.
I didn't say that.
Now, have you seen the?
I feel like he's a pawn.
No, I think he's in like the overlord status. I think it's like way more influential than people like know. That's like a whole topic we could talk about for a while. But I will say though that the Holy Temple in Vatican City looks like a snake on the inside and outside, like a serpent. But so I just seen this today, like the Pope and other religious leaders are going to go to Mount Sinai and have a new climate apologetic set of 10 commandments in lieu of God's 10 commandments under the name of, you know, saving the planet and climate control and whatnot.
So it'll be like, thou shalt not litter.
Shit like that, yeah.
And then they want people to actually follow it and stuff.
Even
That
if-
kind of makes sense.
Even if it's just represent.
I can see that because it's like we should know that for years and years, years to come. Thou shalt not throw plastic in the ocean.
So you feel like it's appropriate for a group of globalists in the concern of population control to come out with new commandments that override God's commandments in the name of a scientific thing that hasn't been fucking proven?
Well, when you put it that way, Dave,
I got some Trump stuff.
pause real quick, little Dave. So it's not that I believe that, but what I'm saying is that, damn, he threw me off a little bit, but it's not exactly that. But yes, I believe people should be able to. What was it again? People should be able to what?
Come up with their own commandments that undermine God's commandments in the name
it's
of.
not undermining, but
global-
we need more commandments because obviously there's no commandment about littering, so we need to make sure that people for thousands of years to come.
No, I think that I don't think that you understand. Like all these other globalist things, man. Like this is just another thing to like undermine. Like
How is it undermining?
current
you
order.
You can't just say that.
But see, that's what they do, man. Like they take the name of something that everybody wants to agree with. Like, oh, give up your right for someone else's the planet, John.
But you're not making any
Like we don't
sense,
even
Dave.
know if global warming is a real thing.
It's not even that, but there's a lot of trash everywhere. That's a real thing.
John, but don't you understand the symbolicness of
Symbolism.
them going there and to the fucking place where God gave the guy the 10 Commandments and make up some new world order 10 Commandments and push that out on people?
Well,
I think that's kind of crazy.
Here, all right, pause. First, I want to hear this Donald Trump stuff, and then after that, I want to hear.
But before we say that,
want to hear
I
the
just-
new
I just-
Ten Commandments.
I just want to put out this quick Bible verse real quick, though.
Okay.
It says in the Bible, like talking about the Antichrist and stuff, that
Okay.
they come in the name of good.
Okay.
And that's what they, like the liberal people, just like, oh, look, we're righteous. We're virtue signaling this, virtue signaling that. We're self-justifying. We're all about us. This is just another extension of that, I feel like. And then they like make it all official and do it like at the fucking place where that allegedly happened. You know, I'm not like no super Christian, but I feel like it's just
Exactly.
Like,
That's why I
disrespectful.
don't understand.
just
Oh
feel
my
like-
God, John! Can
Yeah,
you believe?
I just don't. Yeah, like it seems like
Who cares?
so.
Would you agree that we need to clean up our trash?
But it's not about cleaning up trash, John. It's not only about cleaning up trash. It's about putting yourself out for other people in some new world order shit.
Do you agree that we need to clean up trash?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we need to. It's like a law. A law is a commandment.
No, man. No.
Anyways, what's up with the Donald Trump thing?
Okay, so he could be facing an indictment. An
Could be.
indictment is just a formal charging document. It's used when a person is believed, so they suspect him of committing a crime. So that's pretty much it. He's not really too deep yet.
Has he been arrested?
No.
What is that from?
USA
Why do you always
Today,
ask that, Dave?
No. What date?
March 20. I was updated March 21st.
What was the other thing that we were just about to ask him, Dave? What was the thing we were just talking about? You were asking me if I wanted it or if.
The 10 Commandment things?
Yeah, look up the new 10 Commandments. What is it called? What kind of 10 Commandments?
It's like global climate responsible 10 Commandments.
Yeah, Global Climate 10 Commandments.
But John, like, I don't know. I don't like it because I've said, I was going to say the point of like, yeah, I'm not like super Christian or whatever, but if the same story's been repeated like mad times and it keeps like happening again and again,
You got to try different things to figure out.
then it's like, I feel like this is the same thing again and again.
How is this?
It's just a different like topic to get everybody off of. Do you think this is like the first civilization on the earth?
No.
You think there were other advanced civilizations before us?
Yes.
And they got like so full of themselves, they ended up like fucking themselves up.
I think an Android hit. Or not Android.
An asteroid?
Asteroid.
Possibly. Or they just got super fucking stupid because they got spoiled like we are and started worrying about the wrong shit because they have all this free time and safety net that they come up with all their own demise. And I feel like the whole globalist shit, man, is right along the lines of this, of like, I don't know. And there's like other writings too. Like there's like this John McWhorter guy, this Columbia professor of linguistics, and he talks about how like wokeism is like the new religion of the left, and it has like all the characteristics of like a religion. And remember the Bible verse I just said to you a second ago. And now whether that's like current or not, it's not saying like, okay, you have to be like a Christian to believe this or whatever, but this is like an unfolding of a prediction. It seems like it just looks like that.
I can see that.
And that's what I'm saying. And see, they try to make it like, well, yeah, you should be picking up trash. So I'm gonna undermine God's order in like some kind of like blasphemous fucking ceremony in like a spot. To me, that's like rude. You're gonna go out and lay out because we know better than God. Because I think if God really wanted that to be like a fucking priority, he would have said that. I don't think he's up to like a globalist conglomerate to lay that law down on us. like some Klaus Schwab and those types.
Be careful talking about Klaus Schwab, bro. We got shut down last time.
Right. So did you find anything about that?
Yeah. Do you have a phone charger? My phone's about to die.
It says New York. This is 7 days ago.
I got the commandments, B.
But this is New York Times right here. New York authorities prepare for unprecedented arrest of ex-residents.
You ready for these commandments, B?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Lay it on me. No, are you sure these aren't the Guidestone commandments that you're about to read?
This is from Pope.
Okay.
The ones Pope said. Think of future generations.
Nice, I'm with it.
What kind of world do we want to leave to those who come after us?
No, just read the commandments, not the whole
Okay,
thing.
okay.
Exactly what I was saying.
Embrace alternative energy sources.
Is this 10 or 1?
This is 2.
What was 1?
1 was think of future generations.
Okay, good. I'm with it so far. What's 2?
Embrace alternative energy sources.
I'm with it so far.
All right, 3. Consider pollution's effect on the poor.
I want to just like push back real fast.
No.
That if you do the first 2 of those things, that directly contradicts with number 3. Because when you do those things, the first people who are going to suffer are all the fucking poor people. So like I've already heard this theory, like you do this shit now to save these later people, you know who's going to pay for it?
The now people?
Poor people in fucking Africa, poor people in fucking like Western Europe, fucking poor countries everywhere. Those are the ones that are going to get fucked over
South
first.
Asia.
How?
South Asia,
How so?
India, because the power.
That's the same thing,
Because
India.
they limit these power sources, and they cut off access to poor people, and they're the ones who are going to fucking die.
What do you mean?
Like, do you know how many people in Europe already like got fucked up because of the pipeline getting blown up and not having access to heat, and the temperature decreased to the elderly population just in Europe, and that's a civilized country. So when they make this energy too expensive, poor people are going to pay for it, and you know what they're going to do? Burn wood.
This
and
isn't
coal.
a small interjection.
Yeah, but that's just it's stupid. That just shows the.
All right, what's number 4?
4. Take the bus.
Whoa. I was with you for a little bit, but now we're going off stream.
5. Be humble.
Okay.
That's
6.
not. All right, no, go ahead.
6. Don't become a slave to your phone.
I like that one.
7.
What does that have to do with global warming?
It's a commandment, man. These are good commandments. These are good commandments because that's something people need to know.
I don't like number 1, 2, 3.
7.
Put your phone on vibrate.
Don't trade online relationships for real ones.
Put your phone on vibrate.
Yeah, this guy's.
Look,
You're doing.
you know
You're
what-
violating this commandment right now.
Look, you know what-
talking to the person
you know what you-
online on the phone instead of us right now.
Well, I'm gonna
Commandment
go ahead and
violator.
point this out, and I've noticed this every time.
All right, 8.
Hold on.
Turn off the lights.
This is another interjection.
Oh my God.
We're on cam, B. You have to ignore the other things.
No, you got to
Because
put your
every
phone
time
on
like
vibrate
something's
before we
going
go
on,
live.
like here's John. Like, all right, so
Are you seriously interrupting about your
John,
phone being
and then,
not being
then
on
I was
silent?
trapped with all my buddies, and we're getting bombed by enemy forces and thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you got to start talking. You're me.
Yeah.
Right
Okay.
now, you're me.
All right. So yeah, John, you know I was doing that, and then today I was over today.
Yeah. So what?
It's because I'm trying to direct this podcast.
It's funny because he thinks he's the director.
Right. It's because I'm trying to direct
Nah,
this
see,
podcast.
that's the problem. You need to just let me be the.
Yeah, you do think you're the
The
director.
problem is
Oh
you
my
didn't
God.
put your phone on vibrate before we started. That's the problem.
But can I push back again?
No,
What
you
are these
can't.
things in our hand, bro?
Microphones?
Like, I don't think people can hear stuff unless they're in the microphone.
That's not true.
Then why do we have the microphones?
So they can hear us better.
Hmm.
This is big. All right, 8. Turn off the lights. Recycle and don't waste food. That's like 3 things in one.
That is.
Don't waste food. Eat trash with your lights off. That's what I had.
Oh, you're gonna like 9, y'all. Educate yourself.
Yeah, that's what
You mean indoctrinate yourself to our global practices of tyranny?
10. Believe you can make a difference, while in reality, you can't. We're just gonna make it to where you can.
What?
They didn't say all that. They just said the first part.
Say it again?
Yeah. Believe you can make a difference.
That's dope. I like these 10 commandments.
I don't like it.
I like it. I might get it tattooed on me.
I just find it disrespectful that they're gonna go like deliver that at that ceremony, like what that message is saying.
Oh, there's,
And you know, and I think your mom's
There's
gonna
a
agree
second.
with me
What is
Where'd my
the-
mom come from?
because she's got Christian values.
You don't have Christian values.
what is the?
A little bit. A little bit.
No, you don't. What's the 10 Commandments for changing the world?
Is that another set?
That's the Citizens Handbook. Citizens Handbook. Oh, we should review this one because this one's for the citizens.
Mm-mm.
Are you ready?
No.
You ready?
Let's just hear if there's any good ones.
1, you gotta believe.
Bully youth?
2, you gotta challenge authority.
Heck yeah.
3, you gotta know the system. Oh, look at this change. Look at this.
Dave thinks this is him.
4, you gotta take action. 5, you gotta use the media. Wait a second. This is sounding to start like some twisting
This is the
liberalism.
Klaus Schwab commandment.
6, build alliances. 7, apply constant pressure.
Oof.
8, teach alternatives. 9, learn from your mistakes. And then 10, take care of yourself and each other.
It's like on that Bill and Ted's. Be excellent to each other.
That's how to be it. That's how
Be
to be it.
excellent to each other.
Yeah. I mean, those ones weren't that bad, but you know, I'm just gonna say, like, I don't like the symbolism of going there and doing that at the spot where God allegedly gave the guy the 10 Commandments. That seems blasphemous.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's my whole shit.
Did it charge? Is it charging your thing?
So what
Give
was
us the next topic before you use the bathroom. And then we're going to go in a little bit, dude.
yeah, it's getting hot.
So, next topic. What do we want to talk
Pick
about?
one for mine. Towards the
I've been
bottom.
picking them from yours.
Nice. Towards the bottom.
Okay. Let's talk about Uganda bans LGBTQ.
All right. Now, before you leave, go see what that temperature's on once you
All
put
right,
your phone down.
What you wanted at?
Here, you could just turn it, but you could just talk
Colder.
about it when you go over there.
Colder, bro. It's colder.
He said colder.
That's a pretty intense topic for wrapping up the topics.
What's it at right there?
God,
Go down.
74. Put on auto. He can handle it. Anyhow, LGBTQ and
I think that's fucked up, bro. Like, obviously I can't tell, but it's like, bro, why are, I get it, like, back in, like, a younger age that, we, jiggle it a little bit. There you go.
see again. You're offset, bro.
I mean, he's
upset.
He's
He'll
stuck.
figure it out again. You can't save everybody.
He's about to fuck up his foot too when he does open it.
Then he'll learn. He'll learn.
Nah, I
See,
gotta
if we-
help him out.
Nah, don't help him.
I gotta help him out.
Don't help him. You're not doing him any favor by helping him. See, look, let him go when he figured it out.
Are you proud of him?
No.
Damn.
Ooh, it's cold, baby-o.
Go to the bathroom.
I know.
Oh, to the right.
Hard right.
I think it's fucked up. Like, I don't understand why people care about gay people so much, man. And it's like, what do you think you're gonna do? Like force people to be straight or something like that? Or are they gonna be in more relationships or something? Like,
Yeah.
you think people are gonna not still be gay?
No, they're still gonna be gay.
And it's like punishable by life or death? That's crazy.
That's pretty harsh. But will they let them leave if they want to?
I hope so. I hope they do leave and then they're gonna go to another country and shit like that.
See, but at the same time, man, that's like their country. That's how they get down. Like, that's the great thing about living in America is you could do what you want to do. In other countries, you can't get to do that.
That's not exactly true because
Well, somewhat.
in Tennessee, they just signed over a thing where they gave authority to churches to like not marry different people if they don't want to.
Well, that's fine. That's, again, they're not forcing anybody to do anything. You can do what you want to do. See, but you're free to like go move somewhere else to do it. Now, I don't want to like jump on America's dick so hard that like it's so great, but
Oh, you did.
you could be gay in America.
You said you could be gay?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like in Saudi Arabia, they'll like throw you off a fucking building.
Shit's crazy.
They don't get down with that shit in like a lot of
Heck
fucking
yeah.
places.
Heck yeah, what? Bro, turn that mic off.
He was like, hell yeah, throw that gay off that building,
That's what
brother.
I'm saying. You're not allowed to, you're gonna ruin your career before you even get started.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but that's another thing. Like, that's how some people get down, man.
That's messed up.
It is what it is. Like, they're not our culture. They're not our country. Like, that's the thing about America. They do want to impose what they think on other people, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be gay in Uganda.
That's crazy. Give us another one, little Dave.
All right, so you want to talk about some floods, some mud floods?
Nah, it's too much of a topic to talk about right now.
Psh. All right, Lil Wayne FaceTiming this girl.
Yeah, man. So shout out to University of Miami girls basketball team. They lost tonight, but they won last week, and that was a pretty big win. But it's crazy, like they're in their locker room, and you know sometimes you see like celebrities talking to them and stuff. But there's two badass blonde twins that are on the girls Miami basketball team, and they were talking to Lil Wayne. And I'm like, come on, man, Lil Wayne, like he don't just talk to anybody, you know what I mean? Especially some like cute twins and stuff like that. But bro, they're like 19, 20 years old. Like I kind of feel uncomfortable about that. But they do be like in thongs and stuff on their Instagram, like getting that other kind of bread, OnlyFans type shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, but they're
Different
grown now.
world.
At 19, they could do that.
Yeah.
You just think that a rich 40-year-old guy hollering at a 19-year-old broad is crazy?
Yeah.
I don't. I feel like that's like a percentage.
It's normal.
That's what rich people do. Yeah.
But like,
Look, that's why I got in the game, baby.
that's crazy because, like, you know, I feel like, let's say when I'm like, okay, so I'm 34. So in 6 years, little Dave's going to be 21 and I'm going to be 40.
I'm gonna be balling when I'm 21.
So, like, I don't know if I want to mess with the chicks that he's going to be hanging out with and, like, they're 21.
I'm gonna bring them on to you, John.
Bro, I don't know if I'm messing with none of them.
I don't think like when rich people mess with young broads like that, it's the same. It's not like they're like dating them. It's like, y'all come over here
Like,
to do whatever they want to do, go hang out, and then that's that. And
it's like a legit sponsor situation.
you want to hang on this yacht for a little while, you bone a celebrity,
You got to bring that closer to you a little bit.
you know,
There you go.
that's just what they do. You ever see the one South Park where like, it's like, yeah, all these people, they're like, how can these guys like get all these chicks, these young chicks, this, that, and they're like all like rich dudes, and they're making it seem like it was like so crazy. They're like, why is this guy got these girls? What? And they're all like just rich dudes, you know. And it was like it's obvious the whole time, but like that's the joke of the show. Of yeah.
Did we already talk about the Sunbro food review?
No.
That's about to drop tomorrow, everybody. But it was pretty good. But you know, let's say a couple things about it. So, one thing that we do want to establish is that they're only open at 8 p.m.
On Friday,
on Fridays. Every other day they close at
2.
2.
Yeah. 2.
Okay. In our review, I don't even did we say every day it closed at 8 every day, or I think we just said it closed at 8.
We did say it closed at 8. But I think what we actually said was that he was trying to like have other events at night, but that wasn't really firmed up. And the only real thing that was firmed up was like the Friday night, so 8 thing. So yeah.
What was your favorite food? I think, you know, after watching that food review, man, it's crazy. Like, yeah, I think it still is that breakfast burger. But that club sandwich, I could still taste it, man. That shit was fire.
Yeah, I went back like a couple of days later and got the coffee cake again, and more coffee, and I got the biscuits and gravy, which were good. And I went with Tiffany too when she got the shit. What was it? the Florida Heater bagel breakfast sandwich, and it had like jalapeno on it and like
Whoa.
chopped up bell pepper. It was
On
pretty
a
good.
bagel?
Yeah,
That sounds gross.
on like I think it was a sausage and cheese
Oh, okay. That
with
sounds
the
good.
with the pepper.
That
It
sounds
was good. It was spicy, but not like overly hot.
So what do you think now? Hopefully he might hear this, you know what I mean? So we're not going to talk directly to him, but we were talking about his bar setup that he has over there on the other side. And you know, like you said, he'd be closing at 2 on most days, but if you were to like kind of manage that spot or whatever, what kind of ideas do you think you have for that going on?
Well, he said he doesn't want there to be like a Fins vibe of, having to have
Kind of
security,
rowdy.
having
Yeah.
because he has like more expensive liquor there. It wants to be like more of a, I don't want to say like high class,
Yeah.
but where people aren't gonna go there and drink 10 drinks and get all trashed and do all that stupid stuff.
Makes sense.
It's just, I guess, just who knows if he's ever dealt with that before. He's got experiences and don't want to get into all that, and probably does okay. But I think it's dope. They should have like a more, I don't want to say sophisticated, but like I don't always want to go to Fins. It's fucking loud,
That's true.
loud ass rock music.
I
Not
would
that
like-
that's like bad, but like every
Yeah.
time it's like, or
I would like some dim lighting, some chill jazz music,
Yeah, like something
and
like
then
that.
some grown rich bitches in there.
get like some nice like cocktails and stuff like that. Like, 'cause I mean, I would pay like $15 for a drink if it's like nice.
Yeah, and you're
and
not
a
going
nice
to get
ambience.
$10, $15 drinks.
You know, it's
Get
kinda
2 or
like-
3.
Shopping at Publix or shopping at Walmart.
Yeah.
You'll get a better deal at Walmart, but you got to deal with all the riffraff.
You're going to get a lot of single moms in there. Like one to get scooped up by like some ballers.
Well, yeah, if it's more expensive, it's just going to draw like a crowd like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you don't want to get trashy single moms, because then do you want that dating vibe, or you want it to be more of a chill vibe?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be kind of like a date spot. I like having like the jazz music playing there and stuff like that.
Or even like it's got the stage for live music and whatnot. But I feel like that vibe, man. But where else are you gonna go? Because think about it, you go to Tortugas, you go to Fins, Golden Lion's slightly different, but it's kind of the same. It's still just loud and mad people. You know what I'm saying? Slightly different, but it's kind of the same.
I think I know what you mean.
Because think about Tortugas, they got like loud live music, loud.
Yeah.
It's active. It's cheap. You know what I mean? They're all the same.
You said cheap?
Cheaper on like a bar. You're not gonna get like a $15 cocktail there.
Real quick, little Dave. Well, are you about to go on another topic or are you about to say something else?
Oh no.
Oh, were you about to say something? Oh, I wanted to talk to you about something that is kind of like behind the scenes, people not know, but break it down to me. First, you were about to ask me something when we were walking over here. You said you were going to say the topic. You remember that, little Dave? He said, "Hey, John, how do you feel about this?" And then I said, "I'll answer on the podcast."
Oof. I remember saying it, but I don't remember what it was. And I couldn't jot it down because we were walking. Jot it down.
And then the other thing that I was gonna say is what, like you said, like for food reviews you want to do more like smaller name places and stuff. Break it down to me a little bit. Why?
Because the places are already popular, people already go there.
What about like Next Door Bistro? Everybody's been swarming to that place and stuff.
Well, look at remember when Margarita Island opened up a couple months ago? Everybody was like going there talking about that, and I wonder if that's fallen off or has it maintained. I would like to do Next Door Bistro like once they get going for like a month or so.
Makes sense.
Like I want to.
Get a cook in there that's gonna stay.
Yeah, I was thinking about like the little Spanish spot that's a little further up the beach there. It might even be a Cuban spot, but they just opened up.
I heard about that.
What is it? Cafe Leche or Dolce or something like that.
There's a lot of spots opening up.
Yeah, because that spot's new, and that Jamaican spot that was there did go out of business. So that'll be a place to check out. Just promote a little more of that. Because mad people are already going to Next Door Bistro.
Okay.
And I don't know, I'll do anywhere, but.
And we're not gonna give it away, but our next one is gonna be in Hammock.
Yep.
I'm excited for that. I'm excited again. And then after that, I want to do Captain's Barbecue. But
Oh, hammock twice in a row.
yeah, I mean, we did like Benel, a couple
Yeah, true
of,
that.
then we did Flagler Beach and stuff like that.
I went to this. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was just like about when you come off the Hammock Dunes Bridge and go like north, maybe like less than a mile. It was like a brunch spot there, and it was really good. I wouldn't mind doing a spot like that as well. It was like a smaller spot. I got eggs Benedict. It was really good, and the eggs were like perfect circles. Like they weren't like like a fried egg is like a flat disc. This was just like a perfect circle right on top of the.
That sounds dope.
What do you talk? What I think it was like a crab Benedict. So it was like an English muffin, crab, with the perfect circle egg on it. It was really good. So yeah, I'm excited for that. The hammock tour.
Yep. The hammock leg of
Yeah.
our marathon.
Heck yeah.
Give us another one. I know we're about to end out here, but
Did you already talk about the Marxist?
no, I think we need a little bit more context on that one because I think there's a lot of people saying DeSantis is going into a little tyrannical maneuvers.
Okay, avocados being overrated.
Yes, avocados, bro. Why do they charge extra for avocados everywhere? It's like, bro, I cannot. I don't think avocados are better than pickles. What do you say?
Pickles are pretty good.
I
Yeah,
feel like
man.
it should be like a standard item.
You know what I'm saying? It's like extra for avocados. Man, fuck these avocados, bro. And they taste kind of plain.
Well, I mean, I love avocados, but like I feel you like,
Do you though?
yeah, man, we have avocado like several times a week.
But is it because it's healthy or because it tastes good?
No, because it's good. We put them on our BLTs.
It does. It has a good texture. I will say that.
So
It has a good texture, I agree. But does it taste good?
It tastes like nothing. That's
if you
why
get
it's
Thank
so
you.
good.
if you get a ripe one, like it's good. It's got some flavor.
Is it better than pickles? Got flavor.
No, I mean, I like pickles too, but I feel you like.
Onions.
Just think about it, like I feel like
tomatoes.
I
A
feel like
tomato slice is just like an avocado slice,
that's what I was about to say. I feel like a tomato slice is probably even more expensive than an avocado slice.
bro. It's like, what do we even got going on here?
But is that just because it's like the norm to give like lettuce, tomato, pickles, olives?
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, people are really charging more for like $2 type shit.
The highway robbery is with the peppers. Red peppers. Oh my god. Me and him were in the store. Like red peppers are like what? How is this $4?
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Well, we got the organic one, but it was so much deeper red than the other one, which I felt like was like more
It's
quality.
like it's like I've almost never seen the sky before.
Yeah. So imagine if you bought like a bag of weed, right? And you got some buds in there. They look okay, semi fresh. Then then you get like a sack of
The
like,
organic
some
kind?
Jungle Boys premium. Bam. That's how much different this dark red pepper looked than that waterlogged looking
I can understand.
kind of
That.
red one.
I can understand that.
But it was so sweet. It was good. We made. All right. This is how much we love avocado. It was bread, goat cheese, bacon,
Okay.
red peppers that I like kind of charred up in the skillet a little bit,
Okay.
spinach, sliced avocado, boom.
How's that showing me how much you love avocado?
Because it was sliced avocado on the goat cheese sandwich. This is another example of the
The
uses
hell, I
of
thought you were
avocado.
going to say it was like 2 or 3 layers of avocado.
No.
Sandwich was
Bomb.
bussin',
So busting.
certified.
That goat cheese and bacon combo.
I will say
Did
this.
you taste the avocado?
It was a little dry. I will say this. You should have put some mayo on there.
I did put mayo on it next to the avocado.
enough.
But what I'm gonna make that sandwich again, but I think I'm gonna actually lose the avocado and add tomato.
I bet you
just
are.
to moisten it up a little bit.
Oh, I bet.
Or I might add both, but I don't want to get carried away. With
It's official, man. Avocados are overrated.
I remember one time about like 10 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago, I had some avocado at the house, and you were like, and you probably don't remember this, and you were like, I don't like avocado. Da, da, da. And I was like, John, have you actually tried avocado? And you were like, yeah, but you hadn't. So I sliced some up, hit it with the lime juice, some cilantro, some cayenne pepper, and you ate it. And your reaction was the same reaction you had when you ate the breakfast burger. You were like, I like this breakfast burger. You were like, hey, I do like avocado. I remember
see-
that. It was at my house in the P section, and you were legit young.
You see, like I kind of almost remember that a little bit, but just from the description of what you're saying, it almost proves my point. Like I like the texture and I like all those spices, but I didn't really taste avocado. I just tasted all those spices mixed together.
Okay, that's
You know?
that's reasonable.
So
I'm a fan, but I do think that it should be free because tomatoes is probably more expensive.
right, it's crazy,
I
man.
agree with that as well. All right.
Yeah, man. I think we're about to get out of here, dude. We did an hour 20. That was a solid hour 20.
It's not bad.
I appreciate you guys coming out here this way, even though I came out there yesterday. This dude overslept. It was crazy.
It's the freaking weekend, John.
Rookie.
The freaking weekend.
Wait, what?
What?
What'd you say? Just a second ago.
That you guys, he overslept?
Explain the situation yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah, because I dropped you off and it fell out, and then only
So-
woke up.
I came to fucking Palm Coast.
That was this morning. Are you talking about today?
Bro, what's wrong
Shut
with
up,
you?
bro.
Hey, but what movie did you see last night?
65. It was like some. You ever seen?
Did you see John Wick?
Bro, there was an advertisement for John Wick 4. I watched John Wick 3 like twice in the ending, and I'm
Hey.
like, I gotta see John Wick 4.
It was in the theaters last night.
Here's my theory. He ain't go to the fucking movies.
Shut up about that. He said that in the car. He said that in the car.
I called him. I FaceTimed him. He was in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. John FaceTimed me in the movie, and then like they were
I
like,
thought it was, I'm
His-
going to the movies, but I'm not going to the movie situation.
"You're an
I-
idiot."
If this was the
You're an
cops,
idiot.
if this was like, if we were in court, is this story substantiated now or something? Or
It's substantiated now.
yeah.
It is.
But I wanted to say this because when I read the description of the movie 65, it sounded awfully familiar to the world, to like Afterworld. It's a movie with Will Smith and Jaden Smith. We're not advertising this movie, but
Afterworld. I heard about that movie.
yeah, it's like they're like the same exact movie. They
So-
had to leave Earth and they accidentally crashed back on there, and they have to fight the whatever.
Damn, they crashed back on Earth.
Yeah, both of them.
Damn, that's stupid.
I think it's 65. They was like prehistoric, but in Afterworld, it was like all the animals on the super old Earth evolved to kill humans. So it was like really tough out there.
So in '65, give me a little breakdown. Like, okay, so the world is going through some shit, or is it prehistoric?
Well, no, it was prehistoric because it was like a time, like you know how like time is like seen, so you could see like the prehistoric, but now we're obviously in this time. But people from far away can probably still see dinosaurs. It was like that, but they had to fight dinosaurs instead of new evolved.
Futuristic.
Exactly. It was kind of like just like the exact opposite of After Earth.
So, damn, he said people far away still see dinosaurs.
Maybe like, like if you see a star right
Yeah,
now, we're
light
seeing it
travel.
from like billions of years ago.
Yeah. So somebody was looking at a star and it was. Break it down for me.
That's just a concept.
Oh, I thought you were saying that's what happened in the movie.
So somehow they got like sucked in back into time. Somehow.
This dude's shitty at.
Yeah, let's
fucking-
just move on, man. Let's wrap this up.
I was into it for a little bit. What happened? I'm trying to understand.
It's hard to explain.
Just watch the movie, man.
Yeah, that's better. Let's not give spoilers. Watch the movie, John.
Okay, I will. All right, guys. Well, this is normally, like I said, where we would put a sponsor, but it's not the fact that we don't have sponsors. We just don't have consistent sponsors. That's one thing I might have miscalculated, but not in a horrible way. But it's like on a plan of, because I know how to get sponsors, but how do I keep sponsors? How do I keep them sponsoring week after week after week?
Like the podcast, though.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, not even that, but like even food reviews, but because, okay, we could put a food review out. I think it might be better if we did like once a month or something like that. Because who's going to want to like put, I mean, you know what I mean? Put
I
money behind
like
it.
doing it weekly, though. I like the food.
I like the food.
Yeah.
No, I feel you.
Well, I think people are sleeping, and like our views are up. So
Yeah, I think what people are going to need to see is now that we're start doing them, now that we have it booked, It's like, okay, look, we have this one booked. Now we have time to get sponsors to
But
go
we had
behind it.
other one booked too.
But what I'm saying is now we need to now get sponsors because now we have at least like 3 weeks before we're gonna have to actually put out the video that we're gonna
Yeah,
shoot a
I
week
feel
from
that.
now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Well, I just still hold on, but I feel like some people don't get it yet though. Like
that's
ain't
real.
no TV. You know what I mean? Like our last video got what, like
Our last
maybe like
podcast or food review?
no food review.
Which one was that?
The
The
Little
Little
City
City?
one. That
That
got
one
like
got
that's like
6,000?
It's over 6. It's like 7 now. It's changed. And Terra Nova's one was like 11 and some change. So that's a lot of people seeing it, and 88% is either Palm Coast, Benel, or
Yeah.
Flagler.
Hey, shout out to Terra Novas too. We heard they had a fire in the kitchen, man.
Mm-hmm.
We hope that all's well happens with them and they get their back together and everything.
Yeah.
I got a first account. My friend in psychology works there, and he's like, no one can work there because the whole building has to get like. There's like a lot of like fire like inspector stuff. So like a lot of
Damn.
people are like out of job, bro.
Damn.
So how effed up did it get inside there?
It was only one room, but like there's like a lot of like because the smoke went everywhere. Like now the roofing and then that like the above rooms, like
Damn.
everything's now like quote unquote a fire risk.
Damn.
So
That's
fucked
everything's
up.
got to get replaced, and no one can be working.
You know, I went to another Italian place, local, and it was good. But man, I like Terra Nova's better, man.
All right, so back to what you were talking about before I went off on the Terra Novas rant.
Oh, I'm good. I was just agreeing. Yeah, Terra Nova's.
No, but before that, you were saying, okay. Well, anyways, we were talking about sponsors and getting them for the food.
Oh yeah. So yeah, people are sleeping like, and they and the views keep coming in.
Yeah.
So
Eventually, there's someone because it's crazy. I feel like there aren't people in Flagler County who are having the idea of marketing because there's a lot of people who have small businesses and stuff like that. Who I'm like, bro, you guys need to like be sponsoring, like,
yeah, and that's why I hollered at like a lot of like different like say like pressure washers and you know like what we are charging, like more people are gonna see you than in like a little eighth of a page ad in the newspaper.
yeah,
Or running your stupid ad yourself of your before and after photos on like a marketplace ad or whatever.
I had an idea where I'm sure there's like, who are the people who get sponsors for like big businesses? Are those like a marketing team or like advertising
Like an
agency?
advertising.
Advertising agency. Yeah, digital marketing and advertising agency. We should like hit up a local one in Flagler County and then have
Is
them.
there even
No,
one?
bro, we need digital marketing, bro. We need to do that.
No, but we are doing that. The people just
Yeah,
we just have to connect with the people.
yeah, we could, but I would also like to kind of just see if there is a local, one, and just see what they do and be like, hey, can you reach out? Maybe they can find us some really cool stuff.
Like say like last
we
year.
could do both.
Like last year or something like that. We were like doing a little pressure washer business too, like me and my brother-in-law. And we were gonna holler at this guy that was like putting a magazine together. And for less than what we charge, no, for more than what we charge, we were gonna get like a little 16th of a page ad and a book with mad other people in it.
Yeah, I didn't exactly mean the book. I mean like there's someone like let's say he's like, hey, I reached out to Pinch a Penny and they're down like it's really a company that reaches out to all these people for us and gets us and then they just get a portion of the ad money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just you know what I mean? Like I know we could do it on our own, but it's like shit, are we gonna do it on our own?
Well, I've hollered at some people, like
Yeah. I'm not saying like we haven't. I'm just saying like it'd be cool to incorporate like I want to bring in some local businesses all
see,
around.
but that's
you know
the
what I
thing
mean?
about like doing this is like, even though this is just like me and you sitting in front of the camera talking or going and doing the food review, it's like a lot of stuff that goes into that. And like finding advertisers is a whole separate job or agency. So that's one
Exactly.
more thing. And we both do other stuff too.
Exactly.
So
And Lil Dave, no, we're not. I'm not gonna get on it right now.
but yeah, so I mean
I'm not gonna say it.
if we sat behind if we sat behind the phone all day and like call people,
Exactly. There's people who do this.
yeah.
That's what I was just saying. But I don't want to reach out to someone else. I want to reach out to someone local and tell them, target just local companies for us, local small businesses.
Yeah. But you know what? Whatever, man. This ain't paying our bills, and we're just plugging away.
You know, it'd be dope.
So
You know how we find all these businesses and stuff, and we promote businesses. If there was a local business like that, I would team up with them and I would promote them and use them. So we're gonna look for that.
yeah.
But yes, man, we just hit an hour and a half, so I think it's a good time to dip out.
Episode 13 done.
Dope, man. We're moving right along.
We got 27 more to go.
Wait,
No,
that's only
37, 37 more to go.
What's wrong with this guy,
37.
little Dave? Come on, man.
So, I mean, it seems like it's been a while, though.
It does. We took kind of like a 2-week break there for a
But
minute.
did we, though? I think we still caught it every week, though. I think it just got spaced out a little bit. Maybe like over a third week. I don't think like we missed a week.
No, I think we missed.
I
a
think
week.
we missed days.
Let's see. Well,
I think
let's
we
see.
didn't go on a Thursday and we did it on a Saturday.
You know,
I don't think it was like literally a full week.
so
Made your mom miss a week.
that's wrong. What's wrong? Oh, never mind. We're not going to talk about what's wrong.
His youngness is showing because it's like 11:30.
He's tired.
That boy's tired. He's like,
You better drive home, and I'll let him drive home.
I don't know. It's after 11. That's illegal anyway. Oh, and shout out to
It's illegal for him to drive home.
until next week. Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
You know,
big 1-6.
Maybe I was hitting the 1-6.
Sweet 16. What are we gonna do, little Dave?
We're gonna go to the strip club.
Is he allowed to go to strip club?
No,
Damn.
Rats.
not unless we drive to Mexico.
Do you really want to?
Tijuana.
Remember when Krusty the Clown took all the kids to Tijuana?
Mm-mm.
You know, it was like at the end of that. Remember, because it was like he had a bad experience, and there were like the kids like revolted at the Krusty
do remember
campsite.
that.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, come on, kids, let's go."
That's what he did at the end. I remember that because he was cheaping out on everything, and he had bullies running it. They were like the camp like the Nelson and the other one. They were like the camp counselors, and they're beating everybody up.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
Oh, and that was the fatty facility.
remember like
You're not getting out of here unless you do one pull up.
Can he get his license next week?
I think it's like 2 weeks after, because you got to have your permit for a year, and I think because we had to get a social security card and everything.
So, does he have any plans? Are you guys gonna do anything or what?
We're having like a family party.
Where at?
Undetermined. Probably around the beach or somewhere. Then we might like go to dinner as well. And,
The big 1-6, man. How you feel?
I feel okay.
How's it feel having a 16-year-old son?
Well, I might have like a.
1 year closer to beating his ass.
Hilarious.
I mean, I already have like an older kid though, so it's like. But I mean.
Not like a son though. I feel like a son's different than a daughter.
Yeah, I guess. But on the back end, it just means and
You're not religious.
I feel about like in like 2 years, like, what am I gonna have? What am I gonna do? I'm having like no kids.
Like an empty.
Well, I don't know.
How's that feel about? Are you feeling like? Do you want more kids?
Heck no, bro.
You done?
Fuck yeah, I'm like 40. Yeah, I'm no kid. I already.
I might be having my first kid at 40.
Good luck.
That's if he doesn't hit the lottery next week.
But then he's gonna spit out a couple.
Heck, I'm gonna get a vasectomy.
Damn.
And he's
I
gonna
ain't split my
freeze
money
some.
yet.
He's gonna freeze some and have a vasectomy.
Yeah, you better lobby against that because that's going into your bread.
He said, "What bread?"
What, Brad? I'm on the ladder, B. Screw you.
Man, I ain't expecting to see nothing from you.
Man, you better off than before I got you, so I don't even want to hear that shit.
Let's not do this on the cast, please.
No, let's have a Maury episode right now.
And on that take, I'm about to close this out.
Steve Will.
Peace. You guys are